So today, I'm finally doing it. Hale versus Scott McCall. Who wins? Let's find out. So, Hale was born into a family of werewolves, and his mother, Talia Hale, was highly respected among the werewolf community. After killing his uncle Peter Hale, he became an alpha until he was later replaced by Scott McCall, who became a true alpha. Now he is an omega and helps Scott and his pack when needed. He has all the typical powers of a werewolf, like superhuman strength, speed, durability, accelerated healing, enhanced senses, and razor sharp claws and fangs. He's strong enough to effortlessly snap bones, overpower Scott when they are betas, and to fight against the Kanima and older, stronger, more brutal alphas as well. He's tough enough to survive being shot by a wolfsbane bullet to the arm, a massive fall, and being impaled in the back by all 5 of Peter Hale's claws at once. And he's fast enough to evade multiple arrows and to run at blurring speeds. He has wolf-like senses. His claws can easily tear through flesh, bone, and even metal. He's an experienced and brutal werewolf fighter. And finally, unlike most other werewolves that can only shapeshift into their humanoid wolf forms, Derek can do that, and he can turn into a full-blown wolf as well, which is a rare power. But, anyways, in the other corner, Scott McCall. He was once just a normal teenager, but after getting bit by Peter Hale, who was an alpha at the time, Scott became a beta werewolf. Later, he became a true alpha. The difference between a true alpha and a regular alpha is that Scott didn't have to kill an alpha to become one, which was the common way to do so. He became one through sheer force of will. As a true alpha, his physicality is better than that of most beta and omega werewolves. He's strong enough to bust through stone, break through steel restraints while being electrocuted, and easily break bones, as well as fight against the beast and berserkers. He's fast enough to outpace speeding cars just as a beta and to evade several arrows as well. He's tough enough to survive severe beatings from Liam and a berserker, being stabbed by a chimera's talons, and being impaled by a long metal pipe through his chest. He also has a regenerative healing factor, as he was able to regenerate both of his eyes. He has tremendously enhanced senses, similar to that of wolves. Um, he has his wolf form as well, which he only uses for combat and comes equipped with his razor sharp fangs and claws. And he's also a skilled werewolf fighter, perfectly using his enhanced physical capabilities, claws, and acrobatics as well. So instead of being strictly using their beta forms or their alpha forms, I'm going to be using I think it's only fair to use a compositive version of these two guys from when they were betas, alphas, and omega for Derek. So, since I'm doing that, who's stronger? When he was a beta, Scott was able to knock over Peter Hale while in his massive alpha werewolf form with a kick and break out of metal chains, while Derek was able to fight against Peter in the same form, easily snap bones, and overpower Scott. I think because of that last feat, and because Derek is just older and physically bigger, it's safe to say Derek was the stronger beta. But Scott was the stronger alpha for sure, possibly because of his true alpha form. Like, Derek was able to snap an Uni's neck with ease, and to fight against the Kanima and older, more savage, and more powerful alphas. But Scott was able to fight against the Kanima and those same alphas as a beta. And as an alpha, he was able to pull off a severely hot necklace designed to decapitate supernatural creatures, fight against the beast, break metal restraints while being electrocuted, bust through stone, and when he was transitioning into an alpha, he busted through a barrier of mountain ash, which was thought to be impossible. But that could have been more of willpower rather than physical strength. But Scott was still the stronger alpha nonetheless. What about durability? Well, Derek withstood being shot in the arm with a wolfsbane bullet and he survived being impaled in the back by all 5 of Peter's claws. He also withstood hits from Peter Hale in his massive werewolf form, the Kanima, the Alpha Pack, and a several story fall. But Scott withstood hits from those same guys as well as the Beast. He also withstood being stabbed in the stomach and a massive beating from Liam. He also survived being impaled by a long metal pipe in the chest and being stabbed by a chimera's talons. Both have a regenerative healing factor as well, as Scott regrew both of his eyes, and when Derek got hit with that wolfsbane bullet in the arm, he was confident that if Styles had to cut his arm off, that he would heal from it and be fine. I'd say Scott is better here though, simply because he fought the Beast, which is something Derek never fought against. So I'd say Scott is more durable as well. He also didn't receive a beating like when Liam put Scott through, Derek. And now, with speed and agility, I'd say they're fairly equal. I mean, both could run at blurring speeds, easily outpace speeding cars, quickly scale up buildings, evade arrows, and to fight against the Unai. So, yeah, they're about equal in speed. Now, both are good at fighting like a werewolf, relying on their superhuman physicality and claws to carry them to victory. But Derek is more experienced and more brutal as well. More on that later though. They both have razor sharp claws that can easily pierce through metal, which means they will be able to hurt each other with these as well. But one for sure advantage for Scott is that when an alpha strikes a beta or an omega, it takes them longer to heal and recover from it because it was from an alpha. This means Scott's attacks will take Derek longer to recover from. But this leads me into my last point of the video, back to Derek's brutality. Scott and Derek are friends, and some would even say brothers. If these two were to fight today, I can't see either of them going for the kill, especially Scott since he doesn't kill. I believe they'd fight just to see who was better or who could best each other. And even if Derek was trying to become alpha again and kill Scott, Scott beat Peter Hale, an older, more brutal, and more experienced werewolf than Derek. I can't see Derek beating that. Anyways, what I'm getting at is both will be holding back to some degree. But Scott will be holding back more so, because he refuses to kill, like I said. Derek won't kill him, but he won't be holding back as much, because that's just who he is. So there's two ways of looking at the outcome of this fight. On one hand, Scott nearly lost to Liam, a young beta with anger problems, mostly because he was holding back too much. Same thing could happen here. But on the other hand, Derek never actually beat another named character in a 1v1 fight. This is backed up by the actor Tyler Hoechlin saying something on a panel along the lines of, "Man, I wish I could just win a fight already." It kind of backs it up. So, who does win? Well, I gotta go with Scott on this one for a few reasons. Yes, getting his ass kicked by Liam is a low showing, but you have to remember that the Anukai was amplifying Liam's fear, causing Liam's anger to be through the roof. Also, beating Peter, who was going for the kill while holding back, is very impressive. And finally, Scott just showed more power than Derek throughout the entire show, because he is a true alpha. Even when Derek was an alpha, he never showed the same level of power. Actually, he seemed to be weak in comparison to Scott. Derek is tough and has this "I'm a badass" aura around him, but he never really showed to be a badass. At the end of the day, Scott McCall wins. Like and subscribe if you did enjoy, leave a comment of what you think, and hit the notification bell to be notified of all my future videos and all the great stuff. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.